How are you going to expand your energy? Using the Art of Life 172, it is energy cultivation, employing forms and gestures that can put you aligned with the higher and highest consciousness of the advanced universe. Let us just say, I will just say advanced universe. So by doing the exercise, simultaneous of your movements, you have to control your breathing, control your muscle, and control your mind. If you can control your muscle, breathing, and your mind, so you can enhance the energy on your body, you can accelerate the energy in your body. So you need to have a proper breathing to accelerate your energy within. To activate the energy within, so you need to control your mind, you can control your muscles, and you can control your breathing. So the way to do that is learn how to breathe, how you are going to do your breathing. So we have controlled breathing technique, then simultaneous with the movement, perform the lessons of any of the lessons of the Art of Life 172. So it is a slow motion movement. And when you do the exercise, focus on your awareness, on your divine connection, because our formula is thought follows energy. Then if you can focus your thought to energy and to the spiritual energy stations which I explained, the angels of the Most High are extending in our planet. So your thought is powerful and able to connect with that spiritual energy station. So affording your sensitivity to expand and you can perceive powerful energies. So basically, we have the energy within. The energy within is vital force. That is internal energy, basically energy that comes from the bone. So when you learn how to stretch your joints with focus on your mind with energy, so upon stretching your joints, you can perceive internal energy. You can release internal energy when you stretch your joints because internal energy comes from the bone and is transmitted through the joints when you stretch your muscles. So when you stretch your muscles, you can perceive internal energy, and the way you are stretching your muscles simultaneous with your focus of the mind on internal energy, and your transmitter mind could receive powerful energy because you can connect with the energy of the Most High through the angels of the Supreme Light. So that's why it is very important that you will learn Art of Life, because during actual drill, online drill of Art of Life, you are going to perform Art of Life, actual direct experience with the presence of the angels that I described, Supreme Super Light angels. Then they are visible on skies, visible by your naked eyes. And during the time that you can see them, using any of the lessons of angels, contacts, and connection Art of Life, connect your consciousness to the Supreme Super Light angels by watching them and directing your hands to the direction of the angels, which we call angels of the Supreme Light, angels of the Supreme Light. So this way, this is the reason why I do not call them UFO, because it's big difference. Because when you talk about UFO, that is unidentified flying objects. So it could be airborne technology, and technology is not spirituality. This now, we should realize that when you talk about spirituality, that refers to the spiritual foundation, wherein technology is not necessarily mean spirituality, because between the two, technology and spirituality, when it comes to the development of your spiritual growth, that 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 sense big difference, because spirituality is not technology and technology is not spirituality. But with higher spirituality, you can make technology. So that's why our evolution now when it comes to consciousness, science today is very high. Science today is on its revolution of higher technology. Likewise also is the spiritual side. The spirituality is expanding. And we should resort also on inner discovery so that we could understand also what is energy. Now, even scientists are talking about energy in our term, so that refers to spirituality. The angel's contraction connection is designed for actual experience, wherein when you do the exercise, you could actually see the presence of mysterious lights, and you are given the opportunity to understand inner mystery, because there is the precise guidance. When you do the exercise, the system is you have to open up your heart wisdom, wherein the time you can accelerate advanced energy, you can enhance your consciousness, aligning your consciousness with higher vibrational frequency, then you can perceive, you can see the things which normal people who don't have spiritual awareness cannot grasp, cannot discern. So there are signals that will activate on your body, and the signals involving strong current of energies, you can perceive it with your physical body. So the physical body is important, that you could enhance your sensitivity. So that's why there are three principles we are going to tackle in the practice of inner cultivation of Dubukan. First, we have to activate spiritual awareness. Second is we should realize our connectivity with nature. And third is we are not alone. So, spiritual awareness, expansion of your spiritual awareness will depend also on your activation of your advanced divine connection. So what are your advanced divine connection? So your connections with advanced inner realm and Amisra, Gradam, Murka. So the three kinds of inner realms. The Gradam, the first, the highest, the Mestra, then the Gradam, and the advanced spiritual world. Wherein the Gradam, that refers to the animable realm, wherein human way of understanding cannot suffice to explain the supreme grand inner realm. Then the Gradam, grand realm, so that is grand inner realm, where the supreme superlight angels do come from. The nature of the realm is supreme superlight. So it is what the Bible describes as consuming fire nature of God, because carbon life foundation cannot sustain that kind of light. So it is very powerful light, and the angels of the supreme light are getting closer for us people in the planet could understand the deeper side of the nature of the gods that we are talking about. And the third is the advanced inner realm, that refers to the Murka or advanced inner realm, wherein this advanced inner realm comprising of 15 elemental dimensions, wherein the 14th and the 15th elemental dimensions refers to the cosmos. So the cosmos has astral dimension, and it is multi-dimensional level of creation. Why it has astral dimension? Because it is the world for the mortals. And the grand inner realm is not the world for the mortals, it is the world for the immortals. So this is important because we need to realize how we are going to do the process of our ascension from minor dimension, which is lower dimension, the cosmos or the mortal physical world, into higher dimension or into the dimension the dimensions of the immortals. So the dimensions of the immortals. And for have to have deeper understanding about higher beings, higher forms of lives. So during exercise of Art of Life 172, you can see presence of the angels of the Supreme Light on mysterious lights. So it's actual, you can see it with your naked eyes. Then you can also see lights flashing across the sky by speed of seconds. You can see shooting stars. Those are not shooting stars in the real sense because those are angels in the second sort before the Supreme Superlight angels. So to say, the angels of the Supreme Light is the highest class of angels of the Most High, and they are the host of heavens. Then the second class, which is also immortal angels, are the Munhanrim, Balhanrim angels. So I explained it in the book. So that's why it is advantage if you can read the book of the Bukan first volume. So it has the link at our website at www.innercordobucan.com. So read the book and you can read about 100 angels. So the consuming fire nature of God, referring to the grand and the realm. And the advanced spiritual world, that refers to Murka, in a realm comprising of 15 elemental dimension. And the angels that can get closer with the humanity without causing the humanity to be consumed by fire are angels that are called Munhanrim Balhanrim angels. They can get closer with the human. And during exercise of Art of Life online drill, you can see their presence also. They can manifest as if mysterious lights, as if meteorites or as if shooting stars. So, but those are not meteorites. Those are not meteorites. Even there is a light that fall from the skies, then it fall on near or closer to your feet. Then you cannot see any trace of or any mark of a stone or any mark of an object that you would see in the ground because they're angels, 100 angels. When you have actual experience of online exercise of Art of Life, you can have direct experience or inner discovery. So soul realization is attained by actual experience. Next to belief is resorting into the realization of your belief. You can confirm your belief, either your belief is based on truth or based on absolute truth or based on your imagination, because sometimes if we don't have realization of our belief, we could not assure our belief if really our belief is true or based on just illusion. So the point is learning angels contacts and connection or experiencing the Art of Life 172 is attaining higher realization of your soul. And there are so many lessons that we are going to tackle by doing exercises of inner discovery. And there are exercises which are really important on your inner discovery. For example, the inner cultivation that we have. The inner cultivation that we have, we use soft movement exercise. Soft movement exercise, control your mind, control your breathing, control your muscles. So if you are going to control your mind, you must learn how to control your muscles, and you must also learn how to control your breathing, because the three elements are depending on each other. Meaning, you cannot control your mind if you cannot control your muscle. Likewise, you cannot control your muscle if you cannot control your mind. And you must control your breathing to be able to control your muscle and to control your mind. Especially if you have problems on depressions, wherein the chemical reactions of your body is imbalanced because there is problem. And depression, for example, by so much sadness, depression, so you can create chemicals, you can create chemicals on your body based on science. If you can create cortisol hormones, and cortisol hormones will twist your blood vessels and will shut off your immune system. So that's why if you are depressed, you must do something to rid off the depression that you have. And the way to do that is do inner cultivation. There are so many forms of exercises, and we must understand that exercises are having categories. So two categories of exercise. First is external and the internal. And what do we need to balance the energy of our body? We need to resort into internal energy exercise. And that is a soft movement exercise, just like doing Tai Chi or Qigong. And in Filipino version, we call it Dugukan. So Dugukan is not Tai Chi, it's not Qigong, but then the principle is the same. It is based on the most powerful foundation, which is vital force, is spiritual force. So vital force, spiritual force have different sources. So the most powerful source of vital force and spiritual energy are the three inner realms, which I describe, Amistragradam and Morka. So even in the process of ascension, we must understand that there is a precise process of ascension, how we are going to ascend from this dimension into higher dimension. So belief is good because it can influence the physical body. So what we believe is that what we are, and it is powerful. So that's why when you believe that you have that instinct, you have that energy, so you have that energy. But then if you do not, but then if you believe that you cannot do that, of course you cannot do that because you are being blocked with your blinding ignorance and human weaknesses. So there is a need for the expansion of spiritual awareness so that we should have soul realization for the things that we can do and for the things that will really matter in our life. And our ascension is not on this lower dimension, is not an ascension of technology, because our final ascension is our ascension from this dimension into higher dimension. And how we are going to do that, that is actual inner discovery. So that's why we need to learn holistic art. Holistic art is development of the body, mind, soul, and spirit. Generally accepted martial arts, for example, is development of the body, mind, soul, and spirit. Learning Hilot is development of the body, mind, soul, and spirit. Learning meditation is the development of the body, mind, soul, and spirit, and many systems around the world designed to develop the body, mind, soul, and spirit. This is how we're going to do our inner cultivation, and we are being given the privilege by the Most High, because angels of the Most High, we refined as angels of the Supreme Light, are getting closer for us to be guided on our ascension from this dimension into higher dimension. So this is my inspiration also to share with you the lessons of inner cultivation, because there are exercises that we need to apply so that we can facilitate our process of awakening of our spiritual awareness. Again, three principles that we should apply in our activation, three principles that we should apply on our ascension from minor frequency into higher vibrational frequency, so that we could ascend our life from this dimension into higher dimension. And realizing that the planet itself is on its process of ascension, and you can say that, and you can witness what's going on now in the world. The evolution of science is accelerating. We are now in the advanced technology. So likewise, we are now in the advanced spirituality. But then if we are not open with our heart wisdom, if we are not open with our spiritual consciousness, so we are left behind in the evolution of consciousness. We are left behind in the evolution of the activation of higher consciousness. So we must not be left behind, so that we can match up that we can match up the energy which is working now in our universe, the energy which is working in our surroundings. The negative energy, for example, is too much. Negative energies can affect the balance, the peace and harmony of the people. Without getting balance, harmonizing our energy with the energies lingering the surroundings, so it is difficult sometimes to repel, to delete the negative energies which are harmful for the health, harmful for your peace and harmony. Those negative energies are designed to ruin your balance, to ruin your peace and harmony. So that's why many people are victims with depressions, victims of illnesses or disease or disorders. That's because they cannot align with the higher vibrational frequency which is now activating in the entire planet in its process of ascending. So if we can align our energy with a higher vibrational frequency accelerating in the universe on its process of ascension, so we can feel inner stillness. We have inner stillness, peace within, and we can see the many wonders of life. For example, the lessons of conscious astral journey. Many people would like to learn astral travel, and after having experience of their astral journey consciously, so they are happy because they can recall their activities in the astral beautiful experience, except those ugly experience. But when you have that kind of experience, beautiful experience on your astral journey, on your travel in the inner astral journey, in the multidimensional level of creation, so multidimensional level of creations, that refers to the astral dimension, wherein so much thing to learn on your inner side, on the level of your astral plane. Then beyond astral plane is your super light body. So with that, many people would like to experience that and would like to learn astral travel. But again, without resorting into inner activation, without opening of your psychic centers, developing of your inner side, it is difficult to have actual experience of conscious astral travel. But when you are enhanced with in your inner side, your energy centers are open, accelerating on its energy, and you have control of your energy, then that lesson in life is simple. You can do it. You can do it and you will enjoy life. So that's why you can see the many wonders of life. When you learn conscious astral journey or astral travel, then you can proceed to advance spiritual study. And there are many modalities that people are using on their training. For example, people learning Tai Chi, so they learn Tai Chi, Qigong, so developing understanding their oneness with nature, vital force, the internal energy, and they can make their body very strong beyond the normal. So people become supernatural because they can illustrate power, internal energy. And people who are not doing their inner discovery, their inner cultivation, they would say, that's an illusion. People, even though they see it with by their naked eyes that someone is really doing supernatural feat. So that is true, and actually that's parts of it. It is normal. People has that ability when you are going to enhance that ability. So likewise, when you are going to enhance your conscious astral travel, conscious astral journey, advanced spiritual study, that is part of the truth that we cannot deny. That is part of the truth that we cannot delete in our lives. We want to ascend our life from minor frequency into higher vibrational frequency. So when we want to ascend our life from minor dimension into higher dimension, so we must experience the actual experience of advanced spirituality. And there are exercises that we are going to apply for that so that we can have actual experience. It's difficult. We cannot attain higher soul realization without actual experience. So that's why I'm explaining to you about these things, but it's just words without realization when you cannot apply it in your life. So I'll give you guidance how you can do that. Practice Art of Life 172. So develop the body, mind, soul, and spirit. The way to do it is inner cultivation. And part of inner cultivation is the food that you eat. It is very important also. When you do not know what are the foods good for your activation, good for your inner cultivation, so sometimes your effort on developing your inner side would fail because of the food that you eat. So this, we have exercise, and this exercise is a guided exercise. For example, today we have inner cultivation. We do not eat the usual food that we eat. Then tomorrow, okay, we can eat the normal foods the common people are doing every day. So the next day, okay, continue the cultivation. So we only drink water. And we can survive even how many days, even a year or years without eating the common food that people are eating every day. We'll just only take water. And still, we enjoy life because there are so many wonders in life. And you could realize that eating food is illusion. But it's difficult to realize the meaning why eating food is illusion, because that's the normal ways we are used to in our lives. Every day we have to eat the food, the usual food that we eat. And in fact, commercial world now having various varieties of delicious food. And it adds the illusions of our mind, the cravings of our body. So that's why belief is powerful. Belief is powerful because it will add to your craving for the things that you desire. When you feed up your desire because you like it, so the energy also, the drive of the energy, the powerful energy will enhance your drive to more like the things that you desire within. But then again, when you begin your inner discovery, you will understand the essentiality of the spiritual side. Then your heart will align, where your heart will align to that vibration, and you aim for the deeper side. And when you do your exercise actual, you will realize that many things in your lower vibrational frequency, which are not any longer playing its role on your higher vibrational frequency. And you will realize that many of your desires in human understanding, human level, are just illusion. So that's why when we say the planet is an illusion, and many activities in all those things are mundane and part of blinding ignorance and illusion. So that is true when you are on higher dimension. When you are in higher vibrational frequency, you will realize that many of our activities in the mundane side are really illusions. But if we are within these illusions because our frequency, our activation of spiritual consciousness is only up to this level, mundane, so our truth is based on the activation of consciousness that we are working with. But it's different if your consciousness is aligned with higher vibrational frequency. So that's why people that are looking for people doing inner cultivation, that discerning people on higher level of spiritual awareness, people who are not into that practice, they would call those guys crazy people, because they're doing the things that they do not understand. Anyway, the people that are working on higher level of vibrational frequency, they do understand for the things that they are doing, and they are not crazy. They are not crazy. But the people who are not working with higher vibrational frequency could easily judge that they are doing crazy feats, crazy things. So that's why we need to expand our spiritual awareness so that we can solve also the many problems in our lives because more of these problems in our lives are caused by our very own blinding ignorance and human weaknesses. We have so much illusion in our life that we cannot tackle down, and the desires of our heart, are based on mundane things. Based on mundane things, it will not really matter most in life on your ascension from this minor frequency into higher vibration, higher vibrational frequency into higher dimension. So this is important. Train yourself, train your body to activate each information of advanced vibrational frequency. Train your body to activate its advanced divine connection with the angelic realms. Train your body to activate its higher vibrations, advanced divine connections with the angelic realms, with the Most High. And that is the precise process of your ascension from this dimension into higher dimension. And beware of blinding ignorance. Today it's easier for us to determine those are supreme superlight angels, referring to mysterious lights that we can see on skies, manifesting the skies. But time will come, people cannot easily determine those are mysterious lights manifesting the skies are supreme superlight angels or not, because technology, our airborne technology, advanced technology are also manifesting on skies, and they are not aimed to enlighten the people, but they are going to amaze the people with advanced technology so that people will not any longer a believer of spiritual side, will not any longer believer of the Most High, and they will resort into advanced technology, forgetting their spiritual side. So they will rely everything on technology and forgetting their spiritual side. So technology is not the precise way of ascension. It's not the precise way of ascending our lives from minor frequency into higher vibrational frequency. But then later on, all these things in the mundane side are temporary. So what is eternal? That refers to the spiritual side, that refers to spirituality. And the length now is released. The bridging of divine radiance of the Most High, Supreme Master of Wisdom, Makara Star, Supreme Superlight, angels, in the way of an art and science of physical and spiritual fitness. Holistic art, universal. So holistic art, universal expansion of your spiritual awareness. Your soul realization of your oneness with nature. And we are not alone. So in this life, we are not alone. We are not only human beings existing in the entire planet. Well, so this is the point, brothers and sisters, friends, people that are doing inner cultivation, following the lessons of Guru Khan. Continue your inner cultivation and see the wonders of life by your own self through actual experience, and you will realize that life is really blissful. When life is depressing, that's because we are not aligned with higher vibrational frequency, and we lose our oneness with nature. We lose our oneness with the Most High. But then if we can experience oneness through oneness with nature, understanding the essences of nature, then we can really see that our lives is really blissful. And without understanding the blissfulness of life, so that's why life in the planet is very depressing. And in fact, many people are already failure, already tortured by so much oppression, trials, and life are too much, and they surrender, and they did not able to make it. They didn't able to survive the trials of their lives, so they lost their lives. So it's different when you begin your inner cultivation. By this time, life is really blissful, and the way to do that, we must have soul realization. We must have soul realization that life is really, really, really blissful, and we'll do it in actual experience. Do your inner cultivation, as the angels now are getting closer for us to be guided on what we are going to do on our sure ascension of our life from this minor frequency into higher vibrational frequency until we can ascend life into the real higher dimension, the dimension of the Most High. Okay, that's all, friends, brothers and sisters, and more power to everyone.